There are a lot of people in the markets, analysts, experts, who are calling for a market pullback, maybe a market crash, maybe a market correction, whatever you want to call it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to happen, because in the other side, you also have experts and analysts and strategists calling for an everything rally and the stock market's continuing to go higher and higher. Nevertheless, when you do have a company like Palantir Technologies buying $50 million worth of gold because they want to protect themselves from a black swan event coming in, you listen. For those of you who don't know Palantir, who Palantir Technologies is, this is a company pretty much data expert. They want to simplify the manipulation of data in order to answer complex questions like what is going to happen tomorrow with COVID? What's going to happen tomorrow if I do this as a company? Pretty much they are data experts, okay? And this is what they do for a living. Now, traditionally, when investors will buy gold, it's because they will want to protect themselves from something like inflation coming. And we all know as of now, inflation is one of the biggest risks investors see as a risk, face as a risk in the market. That's why anytime the Fed will come out to speak or hold a meeting, the market will be like, I don't know what's going to happen. What is going to happen with interest rates? Because that is a big component of, where the market can go, whether or not they stay as low as they now, or whether or not they start to spike back up. Okay, so depending on where you are invested, it might have a big incident into your gains or your losses. So the fact that this company, Palantir Technologies, which are data experts, are piling $50 million worth of gold, when you cross the information with what we already know about the AMC situation. I mean, first of all, we have the reverse repo more than $1 trillion. It means less and less liquidity in the market, less and less, ability for these hedge funds, that are overextended to have more money to fund the positions that they are overextended on. Okay. And we all know a bunch of these guys into AMC are in this situation. Not my words, these words from Bob Stewart, Executive Director of Institutional Trade Processing at the DTCC. This is what he said back in June. Come September 1st of this year, there will be an upsurge in the volume of margin calls and an increase in the need for third-party custodians to keep collateral. What does it say? These guys are not ready for some of the big changes that DTCs have been conducting over when it comes to OTC derivatives. And we all know that Citadel hugely and majorly is invested into OTC derivatives, whether it's on AMC or no. Okay, and these are not the only guys. So if inflation is one of the biggest risks the market is facing now, and a data expert company is putting $50 million of their own money into what is called a safe haven asset like gold, and lately it could also be a cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. But the fact that we have so many clues, so many events kind of coming out and lining up together, and in the case the stock market will pull back or crash or have a major correction like 10 to 20 or even 40% correction, I wonder why all of these, big banks and hedge funds like Schwab, Fidelity, Swiss National Bank, Bank New York Mellon, added more of the positions, but even more of AMC shares. Because if the stock market kind of pulls back or crashes, or even if that doesn't happen, if come September 1st and these companies who are market participants like Citadel, or hugely shorting AMC stock are not ready, there's going to be, a domino effect because they're going to be forced to cover. Or if inflation comes and the market also pulls back, okay, instead of going and buying gold, instead of going and buying crypto, these guys are buying AMC because they know 5 to 20 billion fake shares will have to be covered. I mean, that's a significant amount of of shares to be covered and a significant amount of buying pressure. So that being said, maybe this is another, prophecy that they will be true on, or maybe this is just another flop. But hey, only time will tell. But definitely things are looking as bullish as they can on AMC. I mean, just my 2 cents. That's all, folks. But for now, I'm out. I will see you in the next one.